Throughout Europe's history, there have been queens who ruled and consolidated their authority due to their own abilities. They proved that the pre-established patriarchal system of ascendance to the throne was not the only way of maintaining political power and stability in their kingdoms. One can only think of the Tudor King Henry VIII of England, who struggled to secure the future of his kingdom by constantly chasing wives who could offer him a male heir. It turned out that his daughter Elizabeth was a successful queen monarch in her own right, who would have made King Henry probably proud to have such a legendary successor for the English throne. Here's a list of 5 queens who reigned successfully over their kingdoms in Europe. In a chronological order, we start with Isabella I of Castile. She was Queen of Castile from 1474 and Queen Consort of Aragon from 1479, reigning over the United Kingdoms of Spain jointly with her husband Ferdinand II of Aragon until her death in 1504. Isabella was born on the 22nd of April 1451 in Madrigal de las Altas Torres, Avila. Her parents were John II of Castile and Isabella of Portugal. At the age of 19, Isabella married her second cousin Ferdinand of Aragon on the 19th of October 1469 in the Palacio de los Viveros in the city of Valladolid. Isabella ascended to the throne in 1474 at the age of 23 when she was crowned Queen of Castile after the death of King Henry IV. A bloody civil war for the Castilian throne ensued, but Isabella proved she was able to rule as a powerful ruler on her own during the war with Portugal, managing to secure for herself the throne of Castile. When Ferdinand's father died in 1479, Ferdinand and Isabella became King and Queen of Aragon. The royal couple strengthened and expanded the real power of their kingdoms by stimulating the economy, completing the Reconquista, and consolidating the Catholic faith. As a result, Pope Alexander VI granted them the title of Catholic monarchs. At an economic level, Isabella the Catholic imposed a strict fiscal system of the public finances and encouraged the development of sheep farming and wool trade. During Isabella's rule, Spain became a major European and world power, facilitated by Christopher Columbus's voyage in 1492. It was sponsored and supported by the Catholic monarchs, leading eventually to the discovery of the New World. After officially withdrawing from governmental affairs on the 14th of September 1504, Isabella died that same year on the 26th of November at the Medina del Campo Royal Palace. Isabella is perceived today as the first Queen of Spain. We shift now the attention to Elizabeth I, who was Queen of England from 1558 until 1603, during a period often called the Elizabethan Age, when England became successful as a major European power in areas such as trade, politics, and the arts. Elizabeth I reigned gloriously for 45 years, securing the establishment of the Church of England. She was born on the 7th of September 1533 at Greenwich Palace near London. Elizabeth was the daughter of the Tudor King Henry VIII and his second wife Anne Boleyn. Elizabeth came to the throne of England when her older half-sister Mary died on the 17th of November 1558. The Queen, who was often called Gloriana, Good Queen Bess, and the Virgin Queen, chose to remain single because she was unwilling to compromise her power. During her triumphant reign, she was able to build a lasting image of female authority emanating from regal magnificence. In politics, she was able to choose her advisors well and was less confrontational than her father. The victory in 1588 against the Spanish Armada made Elizabeth's name forever linked to one of the most well-known military successes in the history of her nation. She died at Richmond Palace on the 24th of March 1603, leaving behind a triumphant reign which brought stability to the Kingdom of England. She was the last monarch of the House of Tudors. The next queen on our list is Maria Theresa, who was an Austrian Archduchess and the only female ruler of the Habsburg dominions, ruling from 1740 until 1780 as Holy Roman Empress. Maria Theresa was born on the 13th of May 1717 at the Hofburg Palace in Vienna, Austria. Her father was Holy Roman Emperor Charles VI, and her mother was Elizabeth Christine of Brunswick-Wolfenbüttel. When Maria was 19, she married Francis Stephen, the oldest surviving son of Leopold, Duke of Lorraine, on the 12th of February 1736 in the Augustinian Church in Vienna. Their wedding followed 2 days later. Maria and Francis had 16 children, amongst them the legendary Marie Antoinette, who was the youngest daughter. When her father died in October 1740, Maria Theresa, who was only 23 years old, succeeded to the Habsburg throne. Maria was accepted as empress by the Austrian duchies and the Netherlands and Bohemia and Hungary, but she encountered opposition from the European powers, which formed a coalition under the leadership of Frederick II, King of Prussia. Becoming Maria's greatest rival for most of her reign, Frederick II invaded and took the affluent Habsburg province of Silesia in the 7-year conflict known as the War of the Austrian Succession. The Hungarians offered Maria their support for the war effort, and during the course of the war, she was able to defend her rule over most of the Habsburg monarchy, apart from the loss of Silesia and some territories in Italy. After the war, Maria Theresa set about further reforming the Habsburg government, focusing on the centralization of the empire's power. Maria Theresa was the absolute sovereign who ruled with the council of her advisors. With their assistance, Maria promulgated institutional, financial, medical and educational reforms. She also promoted trade and the development of agriculture and reorganized Austria's military, all of which strengthened Austria's international prestige. Maria Theresa died on the 29th of November 1780 at Hofburg Palace in Vienna, where she had reigned for 4 decades, leaving behind a solid basis for future generations of the family empire. Looking now to the eastern part of Europe, we find another remarkable queen. Catherine the Great was Empress of all Russia from 1762 until 1796, making her the country's longest ruling female leader. During her reign, Russia became recognized as one of the great powers worldwide, and the country's borders expanded into Central Europe. Catherine was also credited as a political and social reformer who managed to modernize the lives of Russian people by codifying the country's laws. Catherine played a key role in fostering the arts, sciences, and education, and in the process, she became a patron of the arts, presiding over the age of Russian Enlightenment. Catherine's name was also linked to the establishment of the Smolny Institute of Noble Maidens in St. Petersburg, which was the first state-financed higher education institution for women in Europe. Catherine was born in Stettin, Pomerania, Kingdom of Prussia, now Poland, on the 2nd of May 1729 as Princess Sophie Friederike Auguste von Anhalt-Zerbst-Dornburg. Her father was Christian August, a German prince of the House of Ascania. Her mother was Johanna Elisabeth of Holstein-Gottorp. When Catherine was 16, she married her second cousin, the future Peter III of Russia, on the 21st of August 1745 in St. Petersburg. Unhappy with her marriage, she became involved with the powerful political groups that opposed her husband. Through reading Tacitus, she understood power politics as they really are. In 1762, Catherine was part of the coup that forced her husband, the Tsar Peter III, to abdicate. On the 17th of July 1762, just 6 months after his accession to the throne, Peter III died. Shortly after, Catherine was crowned empress in September of that year. Catherine the Great's rule, seen as the Golden Age of Russia, lasted until her death on the 17th of November 1796 in St. Petersburg at the age of 67. The last queen on our list is Queen Victoria, who was Queen of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Ireland from 1837 until 1901. One of the longest reigning monarchs in history, she gave her name to an era, the Victorian Age. It was a period of impressive industrial, political, scientific and military progress within the United Kingdom, and was also marked by a great expansion of the British Empire when in 1876 Victoria received the title Empress of India. Victoria was born at Kensington Palace in London on the 24th of May 1819 as Princess Alexandrina of Kent. Her father was Prince Edward, Duke of Kent and Strathearn, the fourth son of George III. Her mother was Princess Victoria of Saxe-Coburg-Saalfeld. After marrying Prince Albert on the 10th of February 1840, Victoria found for herself not only a life companion, but also her closest political advisor until his death in 1861 at the young age of 42. They had 9 children together, who later married into important ruling families of Europe, helping Victoria's dynasty of Europe. She was the last monarch of Britain from the House of Hanover. Queen Victoria died at Osborne House on the Isle of Wight on the 22nd of January 1901 at the age of 81. Her successor was her son, King Edward VII.